Welcome everyone, this is part 14? We have a lot of parts of Bendy. Ariel's gonna play this time. This will be her first time going through chapter 3 besides just running tests.
Yeah, okay, chapter 3.
And I had 2 announcements I was going to make.
Okay, make your announcements. I'm going in.
Sounds good. So, one, we with saying theories, not all of these theories are our own, and I realized I should have done this in the past ones, and I will try to go back and then source them. But I wanted to source the theories when we didn't come up with them by ourselves. So we're going to be we're going to be doing that in this part, and then how many parts this theory thing is, and from now on. So if there's anything that we didn't come up with, we'll be citing who it's by. And if there's something that we came up with, and say that someone else also thought of it, but we came up with first, we're not going to cite it, because who knows, you're just going to have to trust us if we came up with ourselves, and someone else also came up with it, that we came up with it ourselves. But we'll cite anything that we didn't.
Yes, so our intention is to talk about theories that other people have made, say what we think of them, and say our own theories as well.
Exactly. And then my second announcement, Ariel, I wanted to show you the picture, I already sent it to you, that someone drew of me, kind of, in my Sammy cosplay when I was at Fanime.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I thought it was so cool, and I just wanted to share it with you and then the 10 people that are watching.
Yeah, I know, it's cool you have a fan. Somebody drew a fan art of you.
Yeah, I think they were just thought the thing was really spooky, so I don't know if it's dedicated to me. They didn't even notice, they didn't know where the picture came from. But that's okay, I'm just still really shocked and excited that that's just really cool in my opinion. So here it is!
Here it is!
Thank you for drawing that, it just made my day when I saw that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. So, what was theories? Ariel, you had something with the mirror?
Oh, sure did. So let me go back there. Okay, so here we have a bathroom. Ooh, yay. And if you'll look, we have no reflection in the mirror.
Yes.
So this definitely was pointed out to me. I didn't come up with this. But it makes you wonder, why don't we have a reflection? Is it some sort of game flaw? They just didn't animate it in there? Or is it because we're not really here? So that gets into more existential theories, which we'll delve into much later, but it's definitely something that I think is important, because they do pay attention to so much detail in the game. I wouldn't think they would just leave it out, but they might have.
They really do. I actually can quote something they say as you go through and trigger the door and then talk to Boris and collect ink, bacon.
Yes.
So I'm going to read something that the Meatly said in Mike Mood. I'm not sure which one, but I don't. Okay. So they said, because they have such a small team, and that's how they kind of want us, is I don't want to say we're control freaks, but we like very specific details, the Meatly said. When you look at a scene, there's a specific reason for everything in that room. We could get other people involved, but when we deliver the game to fans, we want to give them the best that we can do. So
yeah,
I think
that's very obvious just anyway. But yeah, the fact that they say it, it's like, okay, yeah.
Well, we gotta make sure we're looking at the small things.
Yeah.
All the details. Okay. And I guess we could start going into the theory of who we think Boris is. I think that's a big one that's kind of important, and we kind of know it's probably Sammy or Wally.
Yes. So yeah, those are the 2 mains that we're going to be analyzing here.
Yeah. Are you having trouble? You have to cook your soup, just to let you know.
Cook the soup.
So I guess I'll start going through that. I'm going to go over the reasons why Sammy is first. One of the important ones that I think is important is by a girl with a green hat, and that's the one I kind of discussed before, where at the end of the chapter 2, after the game, where after the credits, you can see feet in the top right corner of the screen. And with that, we think it's Boris because it matches up with the lines on his... Has he stood up yet? Wait, don't pull it. Go look at Boris. I just realized where you were. Does he have little lines still on his pants? Like he has little tears at the bottom?
He sure does. Okay, look at those.
So that still goes the same. So basically, Boris was standing there, so it kind of well, Sammy disappeared and now Boris is there. So that's a thing. That's
And
suspicious.
does Sammy not have those little tears on his pants?
I'll find that out while we play.
Because that might be important, actually.
That's a good point. I know I have a reference picture of him somewhere.
Yeah, you'll find stuff.
And remember, Ariel, grab your bone before you leave.
Yes, I just realized I'm not sure.
Do you know? Remember where it is?
No, I know where it is.
Okay, I told Ariel earlier.
Yeah. We gotta get this.
And then give
It might
Boris.
seem tricky because
we missed this before, so we wanted to make sure we did it this time. I kind of knew about it because of the name of the achievement, but the first time we played, I was trying to do too much at once that I didn't like. I just missed it. There's a few things that I'm like, oh, that was obvious. Why I didn't do that? I'm like, I was rushed and trying to sleep.
It's so cute.
I know, it's a good achievement. I like that one. Another thing that brings I would go for Sammy being Boris is that we think Alice hasn't seen this Boris before or else she would have grabbed him, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense like he was just created, so now she's just seeing him, so that could be Sammy turning to him, so he's brand new. Sammy has been around for this place for a while, obviously. He's been, I don't know how long, probably 30 years, so he knows how his way around, I would assume. There's also a banjo, which we saw just a little while ago, by Boris, which is in the start of Chapter 3, and that's Sammy's favorite instrument based off the Hot Topic takeover that he did. And then, what's else? And then, as discussed before, we think Sammy's a failed experiment of Boris, so it would be easy for him to maybe go through again, like how Alice supposedly gone through twice or did something twice and now she became more perfect. So Sammy, being a failed experiment, became more perfect after whatever Bendy did. That's just all theories. Those are all mine besides the first one with Girl with the Green Hat. And then, let's see, and then I'll go over the Wally ones. So the Wally ones, there's a bunch, but these are kind of like the main ones that I don't think most people know. Are all of these by the same person? I was like, most of these, if not all, are by Adobe-outdesign, which they'll all have the links to the theories in the description, so if you want to, like, look at the full thing. So the first point is that we have Sammy talking in the Hot Topic thing, where he says, that Wally, that man can't even keep his things in order. If I didn't know better, I'd say his mind was way out of here. And so,
way out of here.
Well, the way we can get that, connect Boris to Wally with that is with Boris, if it is Wally, at least I don't feel like, I feel like it's more Boris inside, not Wally. So Wally's mind is way out of there, it's gone. It's just Boris. There's also a wrench in Boris's chest in Chapter 1, and Boris holds a wrench in a Chapter 3 teaser picture. If these items go with, like, each item goes with a person, then Wally's either the wrench or the gear. The gear would probably work better with Thomas, since he was, like, more of the person that worked on the machine based off what he said in his tapes. So it seems like Wally would be that person, and we also know he kind of worked on the machine as well, at least a little bit, due to what? Due to the fact his name's, like, on the blueprints of the ink machine, his name's on there. And then I've actually noticed when I was going back and editing, we could point this out later too, when you hear Wally's tape in this chapter, you can hear the ink machine behind him running.
Everyone's walking around here like Grandma just died. Nothing but angry faces everywhere. These people gotta lighten up.
So, I don't know if that goes towards it, but that's something. And then the last one, as Ariel runs around,
Forgot what I had to do.
by Adobe-outdesign as well. Is this place... Okay, so, sorry. So, and Wally's tape in this one, too, he also says, like, we're making cartoons. We should be happy. We gotta make people laugh. And then with Boris, the thing that's in the wall when we first see Boris, it says, who's laughing now? So, like, maybe that's kind of a hint to that. Like, whoever ripped his heart open, be like, oh, I ripped you open. Who's laughing now, Wally? Not you, because you're dead.
Right.
Or something like that. So those are kind of the two theories. Like, there's more things we could pull from them. Those are just some of the few that I thought were interesting or less known. What do you think about those, Ariel?
I Love all of it. Well, so the thing is, all these theories are sort of like really good ideas. You can't really say, well, no, because of this to any of them.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard to really say like, oh, it's either Wally or Sammy for sure. But I do lean towards the Wally ones for sure. So
Okay.
a reason that I do think it's Wally too is kind of a little theory myself. I'll say before I get close to that.
I was like, if you stay right there, I think you'll be okay.
Okay.
I was like,
So-
you move a little closer, but
So basically, I have this idea about how these tunes are made, which is another whole mess in itself. But I sort of get the feeling that if you have a pure heart, you can make a pure tune, like a good, perfect tune. And Boris comes out really perfect. And to me, Wally is a very pure human. He seems to have no idea what's going on here. He's sort of like, why aren't people more happy? You know? And he doesn't really question that things even could be going wrong, even though clearly the place is really weird and everyone else points it out.
yeah.
So he just seems innocent to me.
Definitely
but
Boris
that's-
seems innocent.
Yeah, and Boris seems innocent. Boris turned out good, and other tunes like Bendy, who could be Joey, who was clearly had mental issues, turned out not perfect. And if Susie is Alice, then Susie was clearly also had her own little mental thing. She didn't turn out perfect either, which we will see soon.
Yeah.
But I just kind of think your pure heart sort of can help with that, and
help
that's sort
with
of
that.
why also Alice wants this Boris's heart, because it's pure, so she knows it'll work.
Yeah, I'm really curious what'll happen in chapter
Ooh.
4 with that. So I guess Alice being present, or actually I'll mention something before we do there. We're gonna go the angel route since we took the demon before. Now the angel route does not allow us to do the, I forget the name of it, but the Tommy gun achievement. I have done it, so we will go to that once we go through some things, once we get there, if we want to mess around with the Tommy gun.
Yes.
Since you need the demon route for that. So we'll still get to see it. It's just saved on my game.
Everything feels like it's coming apart. When I walked into the recording booth today, Sammy was there with that Allison.
Allison?
Apparently, I didn't get the memo. Alice Angel will now be voiced by Miss Allison Pendle.
Oh my god.
Part of me died when he said that.
Susie, it's okay, girl.
How do you fix this?
I just
There's
love this
always a
recording.
way.
So
I know.
this is the first time, like, for our video to see it, but we've heard it other times just because we've been going over theories and stuff. But I love that last one. Like, there's got to be a way to fix it. There's got to be a way that I can still be Alice. Like,
She's so desperate.
It's so, like,
desperate.
it's so foreshadowing, I feel like, in a way. And I guess that brings up this theory I was going to mention, and I was waiting for Alice. So I was
Yes.
going to ask you, who do you think Alice is? Is it Susie, Allison,
Suey.
or Suey? Or both, or are we getting part of Alice Angel in there as well? I've seen some people say that they think like the evil part is Allison, and I don't know why they think that. I feel like Susie's kind of the more evil side of what we're seeing of this Alice.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what you think of all of that. Who do you think is side, and do you think multiple people are talking or not when we hear different things Alice Angel says?
These are all wonderful questions. If Allison or Alice, the Alice that we see in this chapter is
Yeah.
both Susie and Allison, if that theory is true, then for sure, oh my god, I just got so confused. For sure, Allison is the good one to me, and Susie is the evil. And so, like, I agree with you. I don't understand why people think Allison is the good. Or
Yeah.
the bad. Because Susie is clearly crazy. She's clearly willing to do anything. She is the only one
Looks like to open this, we need to throw 2 levers at once.
who idolizes Joey.
I'll find you.
Everybody else hates Joey. They hate working for Joey.
That's what it seems like.
And so she's just like, I don't know. She's just like next level, needs to be Alice for some reason, and we'll do it. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Did you forget about him?
Well, it's just hard to talk and to remember.
I know. That's why I had trouble in the part that was called Wandering Theories, just trying to talk and like gather things at the same time. It's a mess.
Yeah. So I mean, that's that. But I personally don't think it's both of them. Maybe it's just because we don't have enough on Allison.
That's the thing. Like I don't know where people are getting. I like don't even remember what people said. I just remember seeing it. I don't know where people get like where Allison.
Well, I think it's
they
like,
have no
Alice.
info on Allison besides she took the job.
Yeah, well, exactly. So she's out to steal her job. So everyone's like, who's this, girl who's trying to steal her job?
Yeah, I
But
guess
really, I think the shady one here is like everyone else who hired Allison and threw Susie under the bus.
Exactly, like mostly Joey, I would assume, because that would be
Yeah.
the perfect thing. You're like, oh, especially because since in the recording later that we've heard already, Joey calls her to the office, and instead of sending her away with the check, it's like I feel like he's got an opportunity, and he even calls her Alice, and she liked it. So I feel like that foreshadows her being like, all right, yeah, you got another job for me with Alice, perfect.
Yeah.
And into the ink machine, or whatever happens, she went.
Yeah. But it could be Susie and Alice, like how whoever
talk?
became Boris is just gone and now it's just Boris.
Mm-hmm.
So like you were saying before, it could be partly Alice.
Yeah.
The personality they created for her, and partly Susie.
Yeah.
And that's why she's two-faced.
Mm-hmm. I think the hard part is we don't know much about the characters, or even like what we do know. Boris didn't seem as innocent in the cartoon that he does now.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't like the bad guy, but like I guess he was still oblivious because he was more oblivious and dopey than anything. But it's hard to compare
Oblivious
something
and
we don't
dopey.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. I think it's safe to say that Susie is in the body of Alice that we're seeing here.
Yeah. At the very least, I'm like 99% sure of that. She's got to be in there. And I think we'll go over one last theory for this video. And then we'll have, I don't know how many videos. We'll be cutting out a lot probably in between things too, where we only point out stuff, but there's a lot to cover just in general. So one is with, well, kind of everyone, but first I'm going to mention the Butcher Gang's real names, because that came out while before, and I haven't mentioned it. So
I love this one.
So just for you to know, Ariel, and anyone who doesn't know, the names of the Butcher Gang when they're cartoon, because we have them here as Piper, Fisher, and Stryker, but their real names in the cartoon is Barley, Charlie, and Edgar is their names. So that's how we got all
Great.
that. So I might refer to them as either. So probably more of their ink names, because I don't remember. Edgar I got down, that's Stryker, but I always forget which one of Barley and Charlie of who's which. So we'll see. So our next theory that we're gonna go over is one that actually just came out very recently on the internet. At this point, that's in October. And this is by Adobe-outdesign as well, most of it, and part of it I'll tell you where it switches. But there's a theory that's basically to each person to become a toon has to give something up that's important to them. If you look at Alice, actually, can you look at her neck very well? I'll try to zoom
you can
in.
tell. Yeah.
You can tell? So she has a cut on her neck, and then like it drips down. And that's kind of odd. So the theory is kind of that she, like, to be sacrificed, for Alice to be sacrificed, her important thing is her voice. She's a voice actor for Susie. So you take that out, and that's what's sacrificed for then she become Alice. So every human loses something to become a toon. Like Bendy, what's important to Joey as an animator, you would think, hopefully, his eyesight. That's kind of where the theory is going. So, and Bendy has a lot of ink around his face, and especially his eyes. His eyes aren't really there. So that could have been what Joey lost.
Yes.
And then what's really interesting that, hold on, let me quote who this is. By plush-anon, I'm just going to completely quote this. They take this to, like, the next level and compare it to Barley, Charlie, and Edgar. So they said, I'm just going to quote them, I thought of something that ties into this really well concerning the Butcher Gang, and your theory that Connor, Flynn, and Cohen eventually became them, although I have some different ideas on who's which one based on this new line of thought. Sean Flynn, the toy maker, is Edgar Stryker. His mouth is sewn shut. After all, do you really deserve a mouth if you can make the mouth right on Bendy's image? Because that's in his audio thing, he didn't sew the mouth on right. So not to mention, off like he did about Joey Drew, really it's surprising that this hadn't happened sooner, as well as having his lips sewn shut correlates to his position working with plush toys, because sewing. Joke's on Joey, found a way to grow a new mouth to chatter on with. Next is Grant Cohen, which I believe we haven't seen the tape, but we will later. Actually, I can read it off real quick, because we have that on the side. Mm-hmm. That is one of the ones we missed, and that was just because I was rushed and stupid. I should have used the axe, but we'll see it later once we get to it. But I'll read it off now.
Hey, say, the real problem with Mr. Drew is that, he never actually tells us little people anything. Oh, sure. According to him, there's always big stuff coming, adventure and fame and the like. But, I'm the guy, see, who has to make sure our budgets don't go all out of whack just because genius upstairs went out and got himself another idea. Speaking of which, and this is top secret, apparently Mr. Drew has another large project in mind now. And it ain't gonna be cheap.
So now that everyone knows that, Grant Cohen, the accountant, is Charlie Piper, who's missing an arm and a leg. Expense. I mean it. Is how much the ink machine cost the company. I'm sure he mentioned it a lot. He's also the one wearing a suit, which makes him being a white-collared employee accountant rather than a mechanic or production line worker. So it kind of goes with missing an arm and a leg. It goes with his audio recording. And then finally, Thomas Connor is Barley/Fisher, who's missing his ears. If he wasn't going to listen to Joey Drew anymore, he shouldn't be able to listen anyone else either. He also notably complained about the noises the machine made. Getting rid of his ears should solve that quite nicely. And what I love about this is because so many of the recordings, they like they were there, but they didn't bring a lot of meaning compared to chapter 2. Like chapter 2, I'm like, oh, we need this recording for we can know where to get the keys, or we know how to unlock Sammy's sanctuary, or we know how to use the projector. Like they had a direct meaning to the game. And these didn't, but I feel like this ties them in so well. Like, this is how know that they are certain characters.
Yeah, I love this theory a lot. The connections are so funny to me. Yeah. They're funny, and they're not just like, oh, haha, that would be funny. It's like, you know what? Yeah, that's it. Like,
this is so perfect. Like, I feel really strongly about this one, and this just came out I don't know, a couple days ago. I just discovered this, and it's a good theory.
It is a good theory. I've been hiding because I'm scared.
I haven't been timing. I figured out. I did a lot of tests, and while I was trying to get the Tommy gun, I did a lot of tests with Bendy, and I know roughly when he comes out based off time. But I haven't been looking at that, so I have no idea where you're at.
Well, yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know if the cycle starts when the challenge starts, or if it's on starts randomly. Okay, he's coming.
He's coming. Oh, okay. Oh, I see him. Yeah, or see the ink.
Yeah.
But I think that theory is really good, and it makes me want to think of what else did everyone give up to become something? You know?
Yeah.
What's important to them.
And I don't know, okay, never mind. There's so many things that we can get into, but we're going to get into a lot of them later, the more crazy things.
Okay, I'll trust you that it's something you'll remember later, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'll remember.
Okay, good thing.
It's my big idea. My big
big
idea is
idea.
coming, you guys. Just wait for my big idea.
I still don't know what this big idea. Like, we've shared some theories ahead of time, just for then we know what's up. But
Yeah.
this isn't one of them, so I'm really curious.
I know. I really hope it's unique.
Because we'll find out. Hopefully I won't be like, yeah, Ariel, I knew that, obviously.
I know, and I have a feeling that's gonna happen, but
That'll be
well, it's not obvious, but it might have been said before because it's
Gotcha.
kind of crazy. We'll see.
Okay. And we'll continue more theories and stuff later, and then we might jump around with gathering objects if it's like, if we just need to get through the game to get to other parts that deal with our theories. Like, we missed
Yeah.
a tape with Henry, so obviously we're not going to talk about that till we get there.
Yes.
Though I skipped ahead with Grant, but that was for a reason. Henry can wait.
Henry can wait.
Yeah.
All right, I'm saving.
Sounds good. Alright, so thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed the theories so far. Adobe Outdesign did most of them, and there's some others by other people. They're all going to be in the description if you want to check out the full thing, because I summarized a lot of them. We'll have more theories on the way and other things that we missed in achievements and stuff like that. So stay tuned. I should come out with these probably once a day. Once a day.
Sweet. Sounds good.
Alright, see ya!
Goodbye.